Thank you very much for this opportunity. My name is Bethuel, my surname is Zunguza. I grew up here in Mbalenhle. Growing up, it was not easy because when you grow up in township, you face a number of issues as a kid because there are many factors that contribute to your life. But we made it not easy to survive the situation, to survive the trauma that we grew up under. I went to school in one of the schools there in Mbalenhle called Gert Secondary School. I completed my matric. Then after matric, I got a learnership from Department of Health, where we went and learned various things, your testing, your counseling, your distribution of medication. Then ngafunda for some quite time, I think it was 2 years. And then when I completed, bahamba was test to few clinics. And then but I was test. Then what I did, I got a job in the event hospital. I've worked there for 3 months. Then I was permanent. Young and S4, I resigned. I resigned because I've seen this is not my field. This is not the work that I can do, because it wants someone who's very passionate with people, someone who can tolerate abantu abagulayo, people who have care. So ngibonile mina kule field, it was difficult for me day in, day out when I'm going to work. It was very, very difficult. Then when I resigned, I went and worked. There was a club in Mbalenhle called TVET Joint. I've worked there. It's a pub for some time. What I liked when I worked there is the way they've managed their things. They wanted everything to become quality. The services that you give to people, it must be quality. Time to time, the boss that I've worked under called Pum Pum. Each and every 5 minutes, you'll go to toilets. Each and every 5 minutes, you'll go and check the tables. You'll check the people around the area. Then I've gained a lot of experience when I was still working in Taifa. I've understood that you must always give people quality services, and always what you do, you must do it with passion, with love, even if it's not what you want to do in life, but whatever that you'll be doing in that time, but you must do it with love and passion. Because if you don't love something, you won't put effort to make it the best. But if you do it with love, then uzofaka a lot of effort, then you'll do it with love. After working in TVET Joint, I resigned in TVET Joint because working under a boss, it was very difficult and it was not easy. Then I've decided to go and work for one guy called Vincent. He's having a company called Bethuel Trading and Projects. Is where I've started to learn different things, how to market your company, how to go to a private sector and look for work, how to register for vendor system, how to go to government institutions, look for work. Is where I've learned also how to fill in your tender documents, how to go and request for the smaller jobs. We do have the jobs now, that is under 30,000 then how to fill in RFQs is where I've learned through those years when I'm working with this man. But after 2-3 years working with this man told me to open my own company, so that now I start to run my own company. Has given me an opportunity to learn from his company and to fill in. As young people, I think we are scared to learn and to give ourselves time to learn, because once uba nomuntu okufundisayo, you feel ukuthi lo muntu iskoshi sakho or lo muntu is abusing you. Sometimes if you are a person, you must be willing to learn. And you must be able also to read books. I used to read a book called 48 Laws of Power. There is something I like in that book. There's a quote that I like. It never outshine your master. So thina abantu abaningi we lack the skill sokubekezela. We want to outshine people who are assisting us to grow, to shape us. We want to always outshine them. We want to behave as if we're above them. Sometimes kubalulekile to humble yourself before your master, because empilweni sometimes you do need people who will assist you, abazokunika le breakthrough, because they've been there, they've done that, and they've abonile all the systems. So what is very important is to understand all the systems, because once you don't have information about these systems, it's going to be difficult for you to access them and to understand what, when you go in this store, where to knock, where to start. If you follow the Department of Health, where to go, where to start, because I think there are a lot of young people who are in business who don't even understand that you can access provincial government, you can get jobs from provincial government. It's not that those jobs, they are for certain people, but there are people who go there and knock every day and knock and request jobs. There are jobs in the district level. There are a lot of business people who don't even understand how do you go through a database. So Mina was able to sit and be willing to learn. I've learned a lot from this guy because his company is quite big. Today is owning even a franchise because it's been there in the system. I've learned from him. Even today, we're still close. We work together. Sibande kakhulu. And then even if I have challenges in my company, will come and assist me. So what is very important sometimes is to identify people who will shape you and they will shape your life and also will give you the information so that you can access to the information. What is very important, if you don't have information, you are not going to be able to work, because without information, then angeke uzwathola ama opportunity, and understand lama criteria when you go to these departments. When I go to human settlement or whatever, public works, funa ngiye kuliphi office, what information must I require? What must I ask in terms of a database? Wow, that information is very powerful. It can assist you as a young person. It will assist you to have a clear vision when you have a company, when you plan, because it's very important to plan when you have a company, to say, in the next 12 months, this is my plan. January, I'll be doing this. February, I'll be doing this, because there are a lot of departments. You can't attack those departments at the go. And there are a lot of private sector. You can't attack them at the go. So you need to have a plan, and a clear plan, so that you'll be able to diagnose the results of what you're doing. Because at the end of the day, you cannot wake up and say, you're at Department of Education every day, but you don't diagnose the results of what you're doing. Then is the skill that we're lacking most as young people, and also the skill of managing our finances. That is the biggest skill that I think we're lacking, and is where we need to improve ourselves. So that is the background of myself and the experience that I've learned. My company is called Indoni, Yamanzi. It was formed in 2018. Indoni Yamanzi has worked in a number of places since from 2018 till this date. What we're doing in Indoni Yamanzi, we do construction, we do supplies, we do maintenance. But in these three sectors, you must know it's not easy to penetrate these sectors. They are companies that are well established. They are companies well established, very resourced. So to penetrate this market is not easy. You need to do your research very thoroughly, and you need to understand when it goes to construction. In construction, there are various sectors. You know, once you say you are doing construction, you need to understand which field specific or dealing. There are people who, maybe for example, who specialize about roads. They have all equipment in terms of the equipment that you need. There are people who do your bridges, they have all the equipment, necessary equipment that they can use to finish a bridge, start a bridge from today, baze baliqede. So when you do a construction, you need to be specific what I'm doing. Myself, I'm specializing in sewer. I'm very, very good in sewer because we're doing a project in 2018. There's a place called in Embalenta called Mandela. We're doing sewer there. What we're doing, we're replacing the old sewer with the new sewer. So I've learned a lot when they speak about your bedding, your blanket, but umuntu makathatha nina usually we're saying is popolo. When a person is trying to find out ukuthi funa scoop kanjani and the types of pipes that we're using in sewer, and to understand the flow and the network of sewer. Sewer, when it starts from this point to that point, funa flow kanjani. Those are the things that I've learned through that processing. That thing you call it is popolo, we call it dambi leveling, something that you use to find a benchmark. Those are the things that I've learned through that process. So also now as I'm talking to you, we're doing roads in Embalente. There is a project that we have where we're doing indlela, we're putting caps, we're putting special pothole. There is a place called Extension 18 in Embalente, is what we're doing now. And also there's a big project, work is in building RTP. We're still in the process. But I will not encourage young people to focus too much in terms of projects. But you can ngaba startup capital sakho. I want to go to, these are my future plans. I want to go to manufacturing and farming, because those are the sustainable business that you can have. During this a pandemic that we have faced, it was for the very first time in our lives facing such a pandemic. A pandemic, they hit it hard, very hard to our businesses, to an extent that ugcina soney'kwelede ezinkulu, ugcina lose a lot of things because of the epidemic. Not anyone expected this epidemic, but that epidemic is shy to an extent and give us a lesson that we need sustainable businesses. And the challenges that I faced as Indoni Yamanzi, I can't say I faced a number of challenges, because I've worked with people who gave me more information. And information, I believe information is power. I think the challenges that I faced in Indoni Yamanzi, one will be equipment. Because once you have a construction company, you don't have equipment, you lose a lot of money. In terms of what you find, an excavator, your water tank, your honeysucker, those things, they take a lot of money when you hire them. So that is the biggest challenge for young people who are doing construction. The equipment is the biggest problem for us. That is the biggest challenge you can face. Except the equipment, I think there's no challenge that we had in Indoni Yamanzi, because I'm working with guys are very good, who market for the business every day, who ensure that they go all out for the business, because once you have a staff in the business, they must feel that they own this business, they are part of this business. So you can't neglect them. Whatever advice that they give, I always consider that advice, because my role in the company is to go and ensure that I get the job, when they get job well done. They ensure that the job has been done, the quality that must happen. Always they prioritize quality. It's not always about us having money, it's about us delivering quality, ensure that the name, the brand remains. That's why today we might find out that all of us, we support Tastic, because we believe what Tastic is giving us a quality product. So at the end of the day, whatever that you do is not always about you as a person, it's about you living the brand, ensuring that the brand will always remain there. They know what, when you go to, for example, when you go to here in event called mine, they know what if they requested that I must deliver 500 nuts on Wednesday, 7 o'clock. By 6:30, the nuts are already there. So because they know ukuthi Indoni Yamanzi masinikeza a task, they ensure that they complete the task before lesikhathi abasinikeza sona. That's why time to time they are impressed to give us umsebenzi. When you go to the Government municipality, but require, for example, what there is a sewer that is A plus stile, so siyacela before the end of the day ensure that the sewer has been fixed. As Indoni Yamanzi, before the day ends, we will ensure ukuthi umsebenzi wethu uqedile, the service is clean, people are happy. Is what we do. COVID-19, as I've explained earlier on, that hit it hard on our businesses. And when you check the number of businesses are will and number of businesses are surviving, especially those ones who are doing manufacturing, like the ones that manufacture clothes, manufacture masks. They are the ones that benefited through the COVID-19 pandemic. What I'm going to say basically, as the director of Indoni Yamanzi, to young people in South Africa, young people in Mpumalanga, young people in Sibande, young people in Gauteng, young people in Western Cape, Eastern Cape, Northern Cape, is that the pandemic taught all of us that sustainable business, it's very important, because the COVID did not affect the small business, affected even big businesses. But we affected. So what I can say, Uguti, when we grew up, we intend to turn blind eye when it comes to your farming, farming and making our own products, and ensure that we support these local businesses, because there is a gap that we have. For example, I can buy a bear from Wimpy that will cost me 110 rands. But there is a girl in township who's having fast food, who's selling a quarter of 50 rand. That is on sotisa mina, and still leave some portion that I can eat later on. But I will complain to support that particular young person. But I will not complain to just get a burger with small chips in town. So I'm saying it is very important. It's a lesson that we have learned, that it is very important that we need to support local businesses, support our sisters, support our brothers, support Abu Mamed. Yes, some of the products, they're not yet at that standard that we want, but let's keep on supporting, but advising them to say they need to improve there and there through the support that we want to give them. COVID-19 has benefited some young people, and I think out of the pandemic, we see now the results of the pandemic, because greedy people and the corruption took place within this pandemic, that Guti, mask is not that a difficult thing. We have young people, we have young entrepreneurs. Time to time, when you find government addressing, will always speak about women, young people, and disabled people. But you can't even give them the opportunities to say, we cannot give one company, a big company, a mask with 1 billion, knowing very well that our people at the ground level are suffering. You are supposed to ensure that you get these smaller companies, yahlula le mali, give them this opportunity to go and supply these masks. We know very well where we are sitting now as young people. We are ready to be given a task and to complete that task. And what pains me the most is that even if there are few companies of young people benefited, but majority of the company benefited. These are big companies, and they are well-established companies. So in future, my wish is that opportunities must be cascaded even to smaller businesses. That's why today we have such centers. These centers, they are here to ensure that they assist small entrepreneurs from this level to that level. So government is having no excuse to say they don't know where to find young people. That's why they've created these centers. These entrepreneurship centers were created to ensure that they give these opportunities to young people. There is NYDA. Fortunately enough, NYDA did fund me. They bought me equipment, your stamper, the plate compactor. Those are the two things that they bought for me. I did put an application in small business to add my equipment, and they did assist me in CEDA, because I use all these departments because I know these are the departments that are there to assist us. Even here in CFE, in a vendor, they do assist us in everything, in terms of managing your finances, in terms of access to internet, in terms of advising you how to improve your business. So I encourage each and every young person, let us not sit in my car. That's why I've said before I start, information is power. So once you have information, it's going to be easy for you to move from one place to another. I think we have about 5 departments where we know a young person can access a grant, where you don't have to pay back the grant. And they fund a lot of young people, but we're lacking one thing: to be patient. They will not. When you put applications, it's not always about you as an individual. There are many young people in South Africa, so they are trying to accommodate each and every young person in South Africa. There's NYDA, there's CEDA, there's small business, there's Department of Agriculture. They have a lot of programs where they assist young people. For example, your Fortune 40 program, where if you want to start farming, they give you tractors, they borrow you tractors, they give you manure, they give you income, they borrow you 50 cows. So after the income is 50 zalil, less zalil, they remain good, less about 50, they take them, but they give you a period of time, knowing very well, good, after maybe 2 years, we know good income zale about 40 or 50 or 60 cows. Then when about the 50, they give it to another young person. So let's not sit where we're sitting and say there are no opportunities. Let's go and look for these opportunities. Let's knock in this door. Let's continue to bother them. Another department, that the small business. Small business have applied a grant for 500,000, where they're going to buy me different equipment. Where I bought machine kati strati, mixer when you want to build izindlu. It's a concrete mixer. Also, it's a mixer for when you want to build a house. I bought a machine, ukunduchani. I bought what else? I bought number of things, number of equipment that I bought there. It's 500,000. So let us utilize these opportunities. Let's not sit where we're sitting. I know some of young people, they will be shocked or amazed today to say, hey, we didn't know about these departments. But these departments, they are there, they are existing. You must go and knock, bother those people who are working in those departments, because the opportunity, they are meant for young people. That's why we're saying, moving forward, we want to change the criteria of women. We don't want to say youth only that must benefit from NYDA. That's why there's 3 categories when government speaks. It's saying youth, women, and disability. So whatever application that comes from women, they must have access, whether you are 31 or 36, 40, you have to access the grant. Because let's not limit the grant only for people who are below 35. Gubo mama. Let us not limit the grant to those people. Will ensure that we push the police change to ensure that it's going to accommodate each and every woman in South Africa, the opportunity, the grant, but by access. So I think the grant has assisted a lot of us and a lot of young people within South Africa. Business NYDA used to find cool this thing, kawash. But I'm a kawash, I should collapse because they only give you 10 grand, they buy you the machine, the equipment. We are saying now, we want to build sustainable businesses. It's not only, yes, when you have a tender is a bonus. Very, very simple. Future plans is to expand the company. When you look in South Africa, companies that are having a grade 9, there are very few. When you check major projects, they are done by WHO, your Group 5, these bigger projects. So my company, I want it to be one of the biggest company in South Africa and in Africa, so that we'll be able to get these 10 key projects, these projects, because when you do a very bare mode of research, you will find out that the only biggest company that we have is Muteu. It's a company called Muteu. It's owned by one lady from Gauteng. It's the biggest company that is doing biggest jobs in South Africa. So I want to expand my company to be at the level of WHO, your Muteu, those big companies, construction companies in South Africa, and expand to other regions, expand to other countries within Africa and outside Africa. Those are the future plans for Indoni Yamanzi. Thank you very much. I hope young people from this day forth, they will be able to go and access this information, access this grant. I thank you for your time and for listening to it, Director Indoni Yamanzi.